So Danny Abdallah is a man who, as you know, is the father of three beautiful souls that were taken in a horrific, you keep saying accident, but it was the behaviour of a driver who was off their head. Their cousin died as well, and the Abdullah family want to have a memorial for their kids. Why wouldn't they want a memorial? This is a story that just every parent, every grandparent, every normal person goes, oh, I imagine if that happened to us. So there are certain tragedies that do get remembered in a different way than lots of other horrible things that happen. And the Oatlands Golf Club, for some reason, has said all you can have is 4 rocks, basically. That's it. So no one will see them. The family, the local church, the local politicians have all said no, they're allowed to have something that's basically no bigger than a bus stop as a way of remembering them on the side of a course. It doesn't interfere with the golf course at all. But for some reason, the golf course is pretending that, you know, brush that you wouldn't want to play a golf ball in is somehow sacred land that can't possibly be changed. Had a chance to talk to Danny a little bit earlier tonight and just had to ask him about how he's coping, how they're holding up, and how they reacted to the pig-headedness of this golf club there's no need for this decision.
I'm trying to understand why. I always look at things like, I always sit back, my wife and I, and say, okay, why did the driver do that to our kids? And I can understand he was drinking, this happened, that happened, and that's what happened. Then I always say to myself, that guy that came into our house and robbed our house, why did he do that? And I understand maybe he was looking for a quick fix. And I say, okay, maybe that's why he did it. And then I ask myself, why is the board so adamant they want to give us a 1 metre by 3 metre type garden bed with a fence in front of it? And I just can't understand why.
You guys are such an inspiration, and I also know that there's no doubt of pressure that comes on you guys feeling like maybe you have to be an example to the rest of the community.
I go down to the memorial there most mornings at about 5 a.m. I sit there, I look at the kids' photos, and I cry, and I imagine them running to me from the golf course. And it's such a special place for me. And I know there's other dads that are members. They've reached out and said, Danny, I'm sorry, I don't understand why either. I'm not asking for much.
No, but also, I mean, look, it's in their power and their purview. This doesn't cost their golf course. It doesn't cost the enjoyment of people playing, but the reputational damage to the rest of the community about that golf club, about that golf course, that now the people running it look like such heartless people.
I'm not sure. I'm confused, perplexed. I don't know why that's their decision. It's been a struggle, don't get me wrong. We've gone back and forth and we've decreased the scale, everything they've asked us to do. We've ticked all the boxes. We're worried about liability. We're worried about maintenance. Everything they've asked us to do, we've done. But then right at the end, they said, look, we've been consistent from day one. We're going to give you rocks up against the fence, 4 stones, and the kids' plaques and the fence. You won't have access to the golf club, which is the rough of that. But it didn't make sense to me. Why are you guys sending emails about liability, maintenance and insurance if originally that's what you guys wanted?
Yeah, if all that's going to be allowed is 4 little rocks, then why are we talking about all this other stuff? That could have been done.
I felt misled, to be honest.
Yeah. There's a lot of people around you who love you and are just as involved as they were on day one. But I think one of the things that pisses us off about this club, and I'm sorry to swear, but the thing that annoys us about this club is that they were one of the ones there on day 1, day 2, saying, anything we can do, anything we can do. But they've walked away from their promise to you.
On the second day, the general manager shook my hand and said, I promise you, you'll have something there. And I was a bit overboard, I'll admit that in the beginning, because it was it was fresh. I said, I'd love to build a chapel, I want to do something, but then I realised that's not right. A commemorative garden is what suits that spot.
Yeah. So sorry as well about the robbery last week.
Yeah, that's okay. It's to me, it's not as, when you lose your kids, when you go through that, the first thing I said to Layla was, are you okay? Kids okay? Everyone's okay? I go, whatever you're not going to take with you in the next life, it shouldn't affect you if it's gone missing.
And I wanted to ask, as Mother's Day comes up,
Yep.
this will be your second one without 3 of the kids. What do you do? Do you have a tradition yet that...
I think you never imagine in your wildest dream that you go to the cemetery on Mother's Day. You go to the cemetery on Easter. We're going to go to the cemetery, obviously, reflect, think about the kids, and then take Layla out. Mother's Day has always been special for Layla. We had 6 kids under the age of 9. It was a full house, and we used to celebrate Mother's Day from the bottom of our hearts. So it's very difficult.
Strength and love, constantly, always to you guys. We're with you for the whole journey, dude. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Paul, and I just want to thank the Australian community, the government, and all the media outlets that have reached out to help.
The offer is there to the golf club. Come and just explain what the deal is. Okay? You heard, I mean, the idea that people are going to judge, Danny off the things that were said at the start, it's just, come on. The grief process that does mean, I wanted a chapel, but the idea that you're 4 little rocks, nobody will see, nobody will remember, come on. It's the size of a bus stop, no one's going to be inconvenienced.